I say good morning. It is kind of good morning, but it's getting to a bit afternoon, isn't it? Or lunchtime or midday, but whatever it is, welcome. It's Saturday, it's Jazz, it's the West Ham Irons channel. It's the final West Ham transfer news show for now. From tomorrow, the West Ham Daily News is going to be back, but it's been enjoyable, hasn't it? The transfer window, two things I always say ever since I fell in love with this silly game. It's kind of signings is one of them, and obviously goals. Love strikers who score goals and signings. That was the main thing I used to live for. And the transfer window, the restrictive nature of the two transfer windows has meant some of that fun's gone. All that's concentrated into a couple of months, couple of weeks here and there. But it's finished, and this show's going to be a quick summary, a reflection on how we think it's gone. How do you think the squad will do this year, or certainly up to the next window? What do we still need? What do we could have done better? How have we done compared to other clubs? How did the last day go? So it's going to be some interesting stats I'm going to share with you guys. You know I like doing that because it is hard so many things, so many numbers, and sometimes we don't know how does West Ham compare with the rest of the Premier League in terms of spending, in terms of recouping money back from sales, in terms of net spend, in terms of historical transfer window spend. How does it all look? You know, sometimes we get lost in the stories, the numbers, that kind of thing. So it's always good to reflect back and see, you know, before the Man City game later on, and see sort of, yeah, I think we've done all right, or we could have done a bit better in those angles, really. But before I get started, we have reached 3,000 subs. I wanted to do it obviously a couple of weeks ago in line with the season starting, but yeah, I couldn't. But yeah, 3,000 subs we reached very late last night. So again, just a quick thank you to everyone who's followed me over the years and things like that. And it's a nice number to get over. We should have done it a lot earlier, but listen, you know I take so many breaks from this channel. I go missing for a number of months, and it affects the numbers. I get that, but I'm trying to keep going. Although, again, before yesterday's show, I didn't do any for a week, so I just get so busy in my job. But I'll keep going for you. I can feel the love, and I will keep going and trying to do as much as I can, really. You can see the headline, Carlos Soler from PSG. We did all the stats, quick stats and analysis. Well, kind of not analysis, but we did the numbers crunching, quick stats on him in yesterday's show. So watch that. I hate repeating myself, but we will be doing a deep dive tactics analysis on him and one or two other things going forward. But top of my head, 26-27 from PSG, started off in Valencia, knows the manager really well. Good friend of Fornell's, who said really good things about West Ham. He's a central midfielder, largely, has played on the wing. Very, very good, very comfortable with the ball at his feet, very skillful. His biggest strength and positivity is that he'll be one like, you know, when Kilman or Todibo will have the ball and they want to start an attack, they'll try to find him first, if not Paqueta. He's on that kind of level. He's not perhaps little bit, few percentage here and there less strong than Paqueta. I think Paqueta is slightly stronger, can shield it and hold it a bit better. But obviously Paqueta is one of the world's best, you know, whatever we say about him. Carlos Soler isn't that far behind in terms of having the ability to control the ball, receive it left or right, shield it, good balance, ability to start attacks. Got a fair few goals and assists in his career, certainly before PSG. Dried up a little bit at PSG, don't know why, not really looked into it, but before joining PSG, he was doing a goal every 3 games, assist every 3-4 games. Amazing stats for a central midfielder. So he's different to box-to-box Souček. He's slightly different to Paqueta. I think he can keep the ball much more than Paqueta. He's much more disciplined. So that's good to see, because we are losing the ball in dangerous areas with players like Paqueta and Mavropanos. He's obviously much, much different to Ward-Prowse, he's left for Forest on loan. Ward-Prowse's kind of limited game in set pieces, free kicks, penalties. But in terms of once Ward-Prowse used to have the ball. What can he create? Can he do a buzz? Can he do a split pass? He really couldn't. He really couldn't. So this is a player that will do that. It's another move towards a 4-3-3. I think the manager wants to do long term, whenever he thinks it's right, whenever he thinks the squad can do it. At the moment, we're doing 4-1-4-1. With the squad, like I said, game to game, it's going to change. I can't tell you, and we won't know, nor will the opposition know, who those exactly 11 players will be game to game. And I think that's good. It means he will use all the members of his squad, apart from Danny Ings, I think. He stayed. He didn't want to go. And if you look at my kind of tracker at the bottom, yeah, Danny Ings is still on holiday at West Ham. God bless him. So he chose not to go. He likes a pie mash, then he didn't want to go, you know what I mean? So he's still there. But apart from Danny Ings, top of my head, all the others are wanted. They will have a part to play. We obviously do subs now, all of them, right, in good time. We change cup games to league games, and depending on the opposition, injuries, suspensions, player strengths, training, fitness, we will tailor the team according to what's going on, and 2 players in every position. Centre backs with one short. We'll talk about that a bit later on. But that's Carlos Soler for you, a typical Wolves type of player. You know, very good on the eye, and yeah, we needed him, especially at the Bournemouth game, isn't it? Not much creativity in the middle. Our defence will be really, really good, isn't it? I think once the defence settles down with Max Kilman, Todibo, Mavropanos is kind of doing all right. Basaka's amazing so far. Emerson is steady Eddie. Goalkeeper's all right. So the back 4, back 5 will be fine. We've got enough wingers. Striker is a concern. We'll talk about that later on. Loads of central midfielders, but we didn't have this type too much. And we saw at the Bournemouth game, until Paqueta came on, we had no creativity. He changed the complete game. But now we got another one like him, you know. So all the better. It's a loan deal. We don't know about any strict obligation. I like that in a way. Some of you don't. I like that. I think too many loan deals are being forced down the club's throats in terms of you must buy him at the end of the loan, and that's frightening for me. And West Ham, in terms of expenditure, they're not that near the ceiling, but they must be around 75% up there, right? So we still got 25% room, but we don't want to go above that. That's a very good percentage. A lot of companies, the way we run our FX losses and gains and current, it's that kind of thing. Anything to do with risk in any walk of life, you don't want to go above 75%. You want to have a little bit of a headroom to play with. And I think we don't want to commit. But don't forget Todibo, it looks like I thought it was a loan, and then we buy him at the end of the season, but I think that clause is going to kick in really early, so we've got to think about that, right? And I think it's a win-win. If Soler does well, that means he likes West Ham, the way we play, the manager, the team, the fans, then he will sign, because he ain't going to go back to PSG and play, no matter what you say. So I think it's a win-win. If he does well, he's going to sign for us. And if he doesn't, we can just walk away from it. I think it's a win-win. I get worried about the ones where, especially players from other leagues, we've been bit in the bum enough. You know, Gerd's the latest example. All these players come with one good season underneath them. 33 million they won, and then a year later they were fucking 2 bob. Do you know what I mean? So I'm alright with that. But anyway, let's get into it, and then I can talk about what I think. So what shall I share with you naughty people first? And let's have a look. Just want to start off with that, get it out of the way. So this is the Premier League all-time record sales, everyone. Again, it's just a fun thing to look at. It's an interesting thing to look at. Coutinho, probably one of the worst signings out there. The top 2 are one of the worst signings in history, aren't they, in terms of what they provided for that money. Coutinho, absolute fuck all after that. Eden Hazard, absolute fuck all. Diddley squat after that. Harry Kane, no matter what I think about Spurs and Harry Kane, he'll always give you full value. That's all right. You'll kill it in that league. You know that. Gareth Bale, I think he's playing golf more than football. Alvarez, 82 million. Maybe it's a going rate for a Man City striker. I don't know. Ronaldo, full value. So different stories there, isn't it? How much you spend isn't always good, is it? So always bear that in mind when your club ain't spent enough as you think. You got to think about two things. A lot of the high value signings flop. I think the ratios are quite high. And the financial fair play, it can fuck your club up. Look at Forest. Leicester are going to get done. City at some point is going to get done. Chelsea had that 2-window ban a couple of years ago. So always weigh it out when you're upset about your club not spending enough. You know, because sometimes the future could be in jeopardy. So always think about Jazz's ins and outs, weighing it all about, right? So you got to weigh it all about. Bloody nearly shook the screen then. What shall I show you now? Let's have a look. Let's have a look at this one. Okay. Summer transfer window spending and received. So this tells you how much clubs have spent in the window. So let's just focus on net spend for now, and you can easily see that snapshot how it compares to the previous seasons, and it's low, isn't it? It's lower than 2023. It's lower than 2022. It's virtually the same as 2021. It's one of the lowest it's been. Interesting, isn't it? Very, very interesting. Why was it so high in the previous 2 years? I can only put it down to maybe a hike in the Sky money. I don't know, or maybe financial fair play was slightly different. So different reasons, isn't it? Financial fair play is the major one. Clubs are just being that extra bit careful, and maybe wait until the next window. So again, in summary, from the first two things I've shared with you, spending a lot on one player usually doesn't go down well, doesn't work out, and then this window has been one of the lowest in the last 7, 8, 9 years, everyone. So that's kind of, again, something to think about when you might be thinking, what happened to those deadline day signings like Torres and a helicopter going to Chelsea, Andy Carroll going Henderson to Liverpool. What's happened to those days? Berbatov, 11 at night, seen in the glass office at United talking to Alex Ferguson, Harry Redknapp on the gates. What happened to those exciting days? I think they've peaked. I think activity's a lot more spread out. What was busy yesterday was the loan market, but there wasn't that many huge, big deals, was there? I think Palace got 4 over the line on the last day. I don't think that's the way to do business. I think the way we did it was the way to do it. We did the majority of it way before, and then we had room to kick out who we didn't want, knowing that we already got their replacements, and we still had room to get 1 or 2 more bargains if we wanted. But then again, always leave a bit of room for January. It's always wise, because you don't know what injuries are going to get. You don't know how a lot of these players are going to settle. A lot of you wanted John Duran. Mate, I did. I think that's non-risky. He's one of the good strikers that's going to come out of the years at the moment and the years ahead. He's going to be a world-class striker in the coming years. I don't doubt that. He's got everything in his game. So we'll see what happens with that. He's far too good to be number 2 at Villa. I can't see that situation carrying on. And the worry is every time they use him, he scores. Everyone knows about it. Chelsea got close to signing him. So perhaps we've lost that window of a club like West Ham outside the so-called Super Six, trying to get a striker like that in their books. I think is an amazing opportunity. We fell short by a few million here and there. I would have gone for that, and we would have had nothing to worry about for the next good amount of years in terms of a striker. He would have been happy by himself up front, happy with 2. And worst case scenario, if he wanted to go in 2-3 years, I think having spent 40 million on him, we would have easily doubled our money. That's just my point. Let's see how the next 2-3 years go for the boy. So that's kind of on that one. Let's have a look at that. We had a look at that, didn't we? Net spend. No, we didn't. So transfer spending 2024 net spend. West Ham are 4th, really, 100 million. So that's come on. You can't say nothing about the club. There's a story behind that, and a lot of that is in the sole column. Historically, in the last couple of windows, we have recouped a lot of money back, compared historically with the Declan Rice 3 times 33 million installments. which last one was this summer. We got 32 million for 3-4 players this summer. That's a lot for West Ham. So historically, we don't get any money for our players, and that's something to bear in mind before you try to take Sullivan's head off. And that again says that even though I was thinking 32 million, God, isn't that good for West Ham compared to other clubs? Is fucking shit. It's still shit. So when you look at Tottenham spending, always bear in mind, always look at the net spend column, right? And some of these clubs didn't fully spend the money they had in the bank last year. So Tottenham are spending the Harry Kane money largely now. Brighton are spending largely the 100-200 million they got last year for McAllister and a couple of guys who went to Chelsea. So don't forget that. Where we're kind of spending each window according to what's coming in. So obviously with that 33 million coming in from Rice has bumped us up a bit. So we're sitting there next to sort of Man United. Ipswich obviously had to spend, no doubt. Bloody hell, Ipswich, yeah. Ipswich, wow, what the hell's gone on there? I just realised that. Ipswich, 123 million. Fucking hell. And they sold £1 million. Well, I didn't realise that. Shit. Brighton, yeah, net spend, don't worry about that. They made all that. They made more than that last year. Don't worry about that. So yeah, we were kind of sitting. Man City at the bottom, isn't it? Man City at the bottom. They got a really, really good, strong squad, and they'll probably go big again in January. We'll see how that goes. So yeah, we're in good company, aren't we? We're in good company with that. I think we've done that. We've done that already. Let's have a look at that. Yeah, just confirming again that West Ham sitting nicely. So this is not net spend, this is just all of it. So yeah, Chelsea 200 odd million, United 205, Brighton 192, Tottenham 133, West Ham again top 4, top 5. So we're in the top 5, top 4, 5 spends everyone. You can't really complain about that. That one I've shown you already. You know what I'm like. Yeah, this is the one that you always got to keep an eye on and give Sullivan a bit of respect. We have received, yeah, we're in that list to get the least money from sales, everyone. Alongside them, the Ipswich million, Leicester, Southampton, West Ham. So, yeah, we got to, I think we got to adopt the Chelsea model in terms of youngsters, but it's hard to do. What's really annoying me at the moment is the way Newcastle, Chelsea, Man City, Liverpool, they're going around hoovering up all the young talent in all the clubs under 21s and below. Renowned West Ham centre-back was stolen by Liverpool last year. We've lost a few like Harrison, Ashby, who, yeah, literally has gone on loan again at QPR, I think. Hasn't really worked out for him. So that's kind of the thing you got to look at. This is the total numbers of players in numbers, everyone, and that tells you the activity of how busy clubs have been. So again, have a look at it. I'm going to go through it in a minute. Loans in. Always told everyone to use, my suggestion to the club is to use this market more than we did under Moyes, and we've got a couple of loans in. Everton have got 4. I don't know what the maximum is, so 4 sounds a lot to me. They probably haven't got much money. Permanents in. West Ham's right up there, isn't it? 8. Very healthy number. It's right up there. Can't ask for more than that. Southampton 12. Got teams like that. Chelsea 11. Ipswich 11. Loans out. West Ham 11. West Ham 11. That's a lot. Permanents out 14. So been very active in loaning out, very active in outright selling, and permanently in. Very, very busy, isn't it? Very, very busy numbers. You can see Liverpool, Man City not being that busy. So yeah, again, not bad. Arsenal, look at that permanent out 31. Wow, Arsenal have got rid of quite a few players, haven't they? Really. I think that's all the screenshots I wanted to share with you. Hopefully that gives you a nice summary analysis of how we sit, how the window's gone, and I think we've done well. I think the club needs to be applauded. Tim Staunton, well done. Lopetegui, well done. Sullivan, well done, and let's see what happens. Now for the serious concerns. 2, 3, 4 games have gone on. Well, 3. I went to the Bournemouth game. How does it look? If I go through the signings, Kilman, really, really good. No real danger of that signing going pear-shaped. So well done to the club. Well done to the manager for saying that's his number one. So Kilman's hit the ground running. Looks really, really good. Wan-Bissaka looks really, really solid. Really, really good. No issues there. The only issues I've got a feeling about Wan-Bissaka is he's going to pick up the odd niggle, an injury here and there. That's my guess on him. The way he's playing, the way he had a niggle in pre-season, he was hobbling about last game. He's an all-action player, and because of that style, because of the history a little bit, he's going to miss the odd 1 or 2 games here and there. That's my guess on him. Max Kilman, totally solid, I think, so far. Very comfortable with the ball at his feet. You saw the goal, the great pass he did for Bowen's goal last week at Palace. Good at marshalling the back four. No problem with him. Todibo, very, very good again. Very good with the ball at his feet. I don't really have much concerns with him. I can see why a lot of clubs are after him, and in the little bit I've seen of him, so I've got no concerns over him. So that's kind of good. That's 3 good things I've seen. If we go on to goalkeeper's the Sheffield United lad, so can't really say anything yet. Hasn't really played much, has he? Emerson's going to continue to play. So that's kind of the back 4. If we go into midfield, Carlos Soler, I think he's going to be all right because he's technically, very, very good. I think those kind of players can survive in most leagues. I think physically he'll be okay. He's the type of player that Wolves sign from Spain and Portugal regularly and do really well with, and I think he'll be all right. I think he'll be good. I think there's only him and Paqueta who's that type of player in centre mid. He's an upgrade on Ward-Prowse in terms of suiting what the manager wants and the formation wants. Ward-Prowse is still a good player, but not for the way we're going in the future, right? So I'm all right with him, and it's a loan deal. There's no risk with that, so I'm fine with that, Somerville, he doesn't fit into Lopetegui at the moment. Somerville, all the Guillermo, the youngster from Brazil. 4-2-3-1 is not happening for Lopetegui. That's the one that Somerville would have fitted into. And Somerville, I think, is more suited to playing that left wing than Kudus, right? That's something to bear in mind. In this 4-1-4-1, Kudus is playing in Somerville's position. And Kudus has not really been as good as his high standards warrant. We'll see and monitor that. Some of you want to see him in the middle. Some of you want to see him on the right and see Bone in the middle. We'll see what happens. Somerville, other concern with him is you got to appreciate how big a club West Ham is in terms of the stage, the Premiership, the price tag, the 60,000 fans, what we're like. We play for teams like, with respect, Bournemouth, Fulham. It's a little bit less expectation. Like Solanke will find out Spurs. Expectation hits you, right? Somerville looks a bit nervous. He rushed through a couple of chances he had last week at Bournemouth. I think that'll be all right. It'll be all right. I just hope the manager keeps him inside, puts his arm around him. He can take his time and I know he will. Lopetegui. What Moyes would have done is, exciting player joins on form, his previous club's player of the season, and Moyes wouldn't even touch him for 2-3 months. He would sit on the bench, wouldn't talk to him, and his mental state will go down, his form will go down. The rest is history, right? So I don't have those concerns, but just bear with Somerville for the time being, because they all want their first goal, first assist, first good game. Then they'll settle down. So he's in that middle kind of thing at the moment. Fulkrug is the same. He's snatched at a lot of chances. It's not happening for him. In a normal game in Germany, he would have put one of them away. I can sense nervousness at him as well, and I don't know what the season will hold for him either. Some of you wanted another striker in, tried and tested, because Danny Ings ain't going to play. I get that. I agree with you, right? Antonio, there's more pressure on Fulkrug because Antonio's been shit. All the games he's played this season, Antonio and Kafal have been shit. Seen nothing from them, right? That's more pressure on Fulkrug now. Whether he's ready to start City, I think that'd be unfair. I don't think he'll start, and that's the right way to go. After City, the games get slightly easier, Jazz says. We'll see what happens with that, really. Apart from that, let me just double check something. It's early in the morning. I'm going to miss some of the signings. You know what I'm like. So it's kind of a mixture of a bit of nervousness in some of the players who got to get used to the league. They've got to get used to the atmosphere, the club, how many fans we kind of got in that kind of season. I'm just going through the list of the transfers. I don't want to miss any of them out. So Max Kilman. Yeah, Somerville will be good. Just bear with him. Fulkrug would hopefully be good. Bear with him. Guillermo. I think Guillermo and Somerville are largely signings for next season when Kudos goes, is my feeling. So let's see how that goes. Rodriguez, he's going to be all right. Give him time. He'll be all right. He's largely all right, but it is a tough league. Yeah, he'll be all right. Todibo, we've gone through. So those are the kind of the main kind of signings, aren't they? So I think that's about it. We've been going on for 26, 27 minutes. I will be instantly live after the Man City game to interact with you naughty people, and we see what goes on. Arsenal game's back kick-off in 10 minutes, so I'm going to jump on that, but sufficient to say that thanks for kind of keeping with me, and keep subscribing, keep watching, keep supporting, and I'll be back after the Man City game. So take care.